If losing money is your type of thing, then don't follow these rules. Although if stacking commas is your thing, I'd heed these rules or guidelines to be more exact. These aren't absolute and don't work in every scenario, but are used to be as a quick way to determine if you should dedicate the limited time you have to investigate further. What's up, everybody? I'm Sean McMurray, co-host of BPM RIA Online, and this is Mr. $250 million in real estate transactions, my mentor, my good friend, president and owner of BPM RIA, Anish Dave.
Hey, my name is Anish Dave, CEO of BPM RIA, and our slogan is, great real estate investors are trained, not born.
The 1 to 2% rule.
So I love the 1 or 2% rule if you're looking at properties quickly, right? You found a property and you're trying to figure out, I'm going to be a landlord, and what are the rents? So for example, we find a property and it's worth $100,000. And again, hard to find properties in our market for $100,000, but this is just a simple example. What we're hoping is to get $1,000 to $2,000 a month per rent. And that's just a quick look of what's happening. Maybe your market's a little bit better than ours, but it's a little bit challenging in our market to get those.
So this should give you enough cushion to cover expenses and cash flow on the property. If 1 to 2% equates to a rent that is not sustainable by the current market, you either get a price reduction or move on. An example, Anish gave an example. I'm going to give you an example for the market here in Florida, right? The average price of a home in South Florida is $530,000. That means you would need to charge $5,300 to $10,600 per month in rent. At one point, you'd be able to achieve that with a multifamily, but good luck finding anything in that price range commanding that high of a rent. You'll need an adjustment in price. 50% rule.
So the 50% rule is another way to quickly look at investment properties, right? So 50% of expenses, or let's go back to it, is you make X amount in rent, 50% of it will go to operating expenses. And of course, you're going to use leverage and you're going to have a mortgage on it. So you're going to want to separate or subtract those numbers.
Keep in mind, this is supposed to account for periodic major repairs as well, such as roofs, HVAC, etc. Using our example above, that means you are looking at $2,650 to $5,300 per month in expenses, leaving you with $2,650 and $5,300 for the mortgage and profits. Unfortunately, at today's interest rates, South Florida's taxes, insurance, and considering a 15% down payment, we are looking at about $4,500 per month in payments. At 1%,
you are losing.
But at 2%, you're doing all right. The 70% rule.
Well, guys, this is Real Estate Investing 101, the 70% rule. And we've actually done a video in the past, so make sure you check it out in depth when we actually go in there. But our idea is we want to buy at a discount, right? So we want to get the property with 30% equity. For example, we buy a house for $100,000, or it's worth $100,000, I should say, and we get it for $70,000. We want to have that spread, so in case we're flipping a house, there's enough room to make some money for us.
The remaining 30% will also be used for closing costs, commissions, taxes, and of course, profit. This rule doesn't work well with properties with a low ARV, such as $50,000, as there's just not enough meat on the bone. It also doesn't work well with properties that have a very high ARV, such as over $700,000. You'll be searching for a long time for properties that meet this criteria. You might bump it up to 80%. Again, using our example, that means we would need to pay no more than $371,000 for the property in question. That is only if it was in tip-top shape. At this rate, this makes sense for the 2% and 50% rule, but we are still underwater at the 1% rule. But things are getting a lot better. We would need to be a bit more creative to make this deal work. For starters, we need to identify all the issues with the property in order to get those discounts. In addition, we need to identify better financing terms. Maybe we partner on a deal with someone who has the cash and we have the deal. We split profits 50-50. That eliminates $2,288 per month in mortgage payments. And Anish, you have a few other suggestions.
Yeah, so I mean, the 3 tips that we just gave you is in a perfect world, right? And unfortunately, the world's not perfect. So you have to be flexible. So there's other things that Sean already touched on. hey, we could increase rents maybe with short-term rentals, right, versus the long-term tenant. My favorite is always using other people's money. If you're smart enough, as Sean is, he'll use my money. There's other creative financing ways that we talked about too in our previous videos, including seller financing, subject to. So you got to start getting creative because the world's not perfect, neither is real estate investing.
The point of all of this is to use these rules as guidelines that help you quickly make decisions. As Anish already stated, if you pair these rules with creative strategies, you create opportunities. Here at BPM RIA, we do this all day, every day. Anish, final words.
So, my final words is that you have to be open to doing different types of deals and being really flexible. We gave you some basic tips to find deals, but you still have to do your due diligence. Talk to the seller. Constantly think about making a win-win. There's a ton of opportunity out there, especially in our market. As you start picking up in different techniques and knowledge and start building your team, you too can be profitable in this market.
And we're out.